I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.
Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. And I know y'all guys have heard, most of you have heard about the huge boom that was heard over Columbia, South Carolina. Super Dave 44 on his YouTube channel reported about it, and a bunch of other people. And I'm going to give you a little idea as to where this stuff is coming from. Because we're not just talking about booms, okay, or explosions in the sky that no one's really seen, and there's no earthquake report. You know, there's an answer to this, and it's tied to a lot of other things. You know, remember we had all the orbs and all the UAPs that were flying around everywhere. And then we had all the flashing lights that was going on. That's still going on. And so are the things flying around in the skies at nighttime. Some of it, a little bit specifically when it comes to the orbs, can be supernatural. But I think most of this is man-made. And it's part of a rollout that's tied to disclosure. Okay? There is a disclosure coming, but not the kind of disclosure a few of you think it's going to be. It's a disclosure that's going to deceive a lot of people. And I don't believe it's going to be disclosed exactly how we expect it. Okay? You know, they know, we know. And, you know, the words fake alien invasion have been around for a long time, and they've actually made it into a lot of people's minds, okay, which is awesome. So, of course, they're going to, how would you say, roll with the punches, you might say. Here's what a couple of things that I think ultimately will happen, because many reasons, but I can see it coming. And that is that we're talking about giant angelic beings that are going to appear. And they're going to take thrones. And this is going to be, it's not just all of a sudden one day that's going to be the case. It's going to roll out through all kinds of other things, including these explosions, flickering lights all over everywhere in different towns and cities, and fireballs falling out of the sky, fire coming down from heaven. We're seeing all of that. But you know, we're going to come back to this right here in just a minute. Energy weapons that can strike at a distance and cause explosions, okay? Some admitted and some theoretical, okay? We're going to come back to it. But what I want to look at is I want to show you, we're going to look at the Fireball report site. Now, these fireballs, they're not, it is my belief that they are not what we've been told. Most everything we've been told since a child growing up has been a deception or just straight out lie. They'll either twist, turn, or just lie. Okay? Because they don't want us, they want everything we believe to be a lie, you see? So these things that are falling out of the sky, some of them come from a supernatural source. That is stars falling from the heaven. The word for star, that word is another word for angel or deity. Okay? Hopefully I ain't losing you yet, because I'm a guy that actually has a clue what he's talking about and has had many, many experiences with what I'm talking about in person. I could go into exactly, but many of you have already heard it, and I'm not wanting to try to explain all that again. It's all on my channel. All my testimonies about seeing angels up close, flying over me, flying around me, doing all kinds of things, casting lightning bolts into the ocean, all these kinds of things, and many other supernatural things that I have seen in my lifetime. Well, what we're going to look at here at the moment is, let's look at the events, okay, in people reporting seeing fireballs, okay? And this is May, okay? May 28th, 29th, and 28th, 27th. All of these are the last 3 days, okay? That's just 3 days. And let's go down to the 5th page, for instance. We go down to the 5th page, we're down to the 20th, the 19th, and the 18th. So you can see there's an enormous amount of reports of people reporting seeing fireballs, okay? Things like this, okay? Now we know this one, most of us are familiar with that, of course, being Starlink, or you could call it they're pretending to do things like angels can do, bringing fire down from the heavens and things like this, okay? And of course, this is a rocket launch by SpaceX, sending up the Starlinks. This is all a supernatural battle that's going on. It's a somewhat hidden battle that's going on. Let's see if I can click away and get rid of that. Yeah. But people are seeing things like this, of course, or like this, or like this. Like that. That. Interesting one. Okay. And here's another one up here. I guess they're saying these are not fireballs. This is an airplane. Okay, great. But the point is, I wasn't trying to say these are this or that or the other. The point is, people are reporting a lot. As a matter of fact, statistically, this year so far, we are multi times higher for the number of reports than we were last year. This month alone, there's been more reports than ever in history. Okay, something is happening, but what is happening? What's happening is there is an agenda being rolled out. Okay, some of it may be supernatural. Okay, because God will have his day and the angels will have their way. However, mankind is trying to deceive and will deceive a great number of the population of this world. They're going to show you things in the heavens that are going on, and not just in the heavens, but here on the ground. You're going to see ships. You're going to see fire fall from the heaven. You're going to see all kinds of things happening. And they have the technologies available to them to be able to do that. Okay? I mean, we know about things like high energy lasers, We know about high energy lasers, microwave weapons, kinetic energy weapons, electromagnetic pulse, EMPs, directed energy, systems, that kind of thing. We know about those. What weapons are there or hidden technology is there that we do not know about? Some like the things they theorized and showed us as science fiction, like in Star Trek and Star Wars. Take, for instance, the proton torpedoes, okay? Or quantum torpedoes, they called them in Star Trek. It's depicting it like this, but this is actually an incorrect depiction. Okay, that's just how the image worked out. It's actually just pure energy. You see, the way they create anything in this world is by copying nature, copying the way that God made things. Okay, let's think about this. Big boom above Columbia. Now, I'm further to the coast in South Carolina, and I've heard some big ones in the last year, even last 2 months. I've heard some big booms that even shook the house, make you go outside. So this is happening everywhere, okay? You could run a Google search for like mysterious boom, right? And you're going to, of course, find the one in South Carolina, but you're going to start seeing that they're all over the place as you go down through the last week, months, whatever. There's Houston, Union County, there's Yonkers neighborhood, New York or New Jersey, Cleveland, and the list goes on and on and on. But there's an answer to what's going on. It's technology that they have generated. Let's think about how could you make a big boom or explosion in the skies? Is there anything in nature that creates a big boom in the skies? Like lightning? When lightning splits the air, and when it splits and claps back together, you get an explosive sound, right? You get an explosive sound that then reverberates, of course. And could you create a weapon like a proton torpedo or something like that that could do something similar? Yes, you could. Yes, it's going to take a lot of research. Yes, it's going to be difficult, but it can be done. And I believe that they've already done it. And not just that one thing, they basically anything that you can find in nature, they have copied it and reproduced it using technology. And with a little help probably from some unseen, basically probably fallen angel technology kind of stuff, okay? And they've been studying this stuff for thousands of years. This ain't just a new thing like, oh, well, we've only been here since 1776. It's not that easy. Knowledge has been gaining for thousands of years. Not just the last couple of, 250 coming up this June, July, which is interesting in itself because I'm expecting something to go down around the 4th, give or take in that area. There's highly likely going to be something that kind of kick things off, you might say, a little bit more than they have been so far. You got the government talking about disclosure. You got Disclosure Day coming out. You've got booms in the sky. You've got more meteors and fireballs streaking through the sky than ever in history. You've got all the UAPs, the orbs, everybody's seeing things everywhere. Don't you realize that we're building towards something? Yeah, we're building towards something. It's like in a movie. No different. Like in a movie, and you're watching a movie and it's getting kind of going, it's getting interesting, and all of a sudden you hit the first crescendo. Well, we're close. We're very close. And I'm not telling you any of this to scare you. I'm telling you these things so you won't be scared, and that you'll know that it is mankind doing their thing. If our Father in heaven decides to do something, it will be supernatural on such a level. And yeah, he can do simple things too. But if he's going to do something that's going to affect humanity, like the day of the Lord coming back, you're going to know. Okay. But the enemy of Father in heaven that likes to copy everything is, and has been, but really is getting ready to go into crescendo mode. Now, they showed off pretty good on 9/11, didn't they? They made it look like 2 airplanes flew into 2 buildings and knocked down 3 buildings. Didn't they? What they did there was a big magic trick, a big MAGA trick. They wanted us to believe what they sold us, but what actually happened is they used energy, some of these same concepts right here, okay, in order to molecularly separate the materials that were in those buildings. Those buildings were built from the very first beginning, design, construction, and everything for that magic trick. 33 years later, they were built for it. And the things that are going to happen, that are coming, anything that's involved with it was built for it, designed for it, such as our lights, all the lights flickering and things. Our LED lights and all the lights that we're using now, the ones you can buy, are all designed to be affected by electromagnetic fields. That wasn't by mistake. The fact that you don't have lead paint in your house is part of the plan. You see, lead paint blocks EMFs. But no, they wanted to claim that they wanted to save the children from eating lead paint, right? That's nonsense. What they wanted to do was have access to being able to see inside your house, or project energy, electromagnetic waves, into everything, including your homes. I used to sell real estate, and they had a specific form that had to be signed on every home about lead paint. It was a big issue. They wanted it out of every home, big time. So what do y'all guys think? What do you think is happening? What do you think about what's going to come? How's this going to roll out? How is it going to unfold? Put it in the comments, how you think this is going to roll out. We can see already the various things that are going on, but there's more that's going to happen. There is more that is going to happen. See, like, we've got, let's see, where's it at? Like right here. United States industrial plant explosion, fires, and destructions since January 1, 2026. You know how in the Middle East they're blowing up all of the factories and the energy places and doing all that? Well, heck, we don't even need war over here, which we actually have it. This is war. It's clandestine. It's invisible. They're doing it in such a way to make it look like, oh, it was just an accident. Look at all of the places that have blown up, and this might not be all of them, that have blown up in the United States since January 1st. You see? We got 55 of them here, okay? And this doesn't include the one that just is going on in Florida or California, the new ones. And there's probably some other ones that I missed as I was putting together this data. So it's literally a war to tear down the infrastructure, make everything weak, stressful, and then they're going to pull this grand deception, which all this is part of the grand deception, but they're going to pull this thing here real soon. It's going to get interesting, but I would suggest to you is to do the best you can, prepare, have a source of water, have a source of trying to get access to food without having to go beg for it. Get used to the possibility that you may have to live without electricity. You know, people did it for thousands of years. Not only that, there's actually ways to get electricity, you know, low voltage, low amperage electricity that exists probably right in your yard. If you'll do some research into trees, you'll find out that they put off an amount of electricity to run LED lights, actually. They don't take much. And a large tree produces enough electricity. And if you've got some batteries, you can back that up and keep yourself some light. What I'm saying is be prepared, because I think we can all see that things are going down. But don't be afraid. You're going to make it. Our Father in heaven is greater than he that is with the enemy. And he's greater than any of these technologies and fear tactics that they're going to bring against us. He's greater than the giants that are going to walk into. What do you think they have the Vatican built with doors that are for a 33-foot tall person? Why do you think all the other buildings around the world that these guys control, many of them have doorways that are 30-some feet tall? And you can go back to previous times in history and you'll find the same thing, like in Babylon or in Petra or in many places, as in the days of Noah. Just think about that. What went down in the days of Noah. And I've even got a spreadsheet here that I'm looking at a lot of different times, like Tower of Babel, Noah's flood, Sodom and Gomorrah, Egypt before the Exodus, Nineveh, Edom, like with Esau and Edom and the Edomites and the fall, or the not really complete fall, but the things that happen with them, because I think, unfortunately, the Edomites are in power right now. Judah, Babylon, the Second Temple period, the First Temple period, the Mayan collapse, Atlantis, Rome, fall of Rome, all these kinds of things. And I'm looking at all of the patterns, you see. And I'm not finished with it. That's why I'm not going over it right now. But looking at all the different patterns, and from what I can see so far, is everything is lining up that we're basically in the days of Noah, or in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, or in the days of even Exodus, and or Babylon even. And here we go around this wheel again, right? All right, guys. I'd like to thank Antoinette S., Christopher H., Diane M., and I would invite you to be a supporter of this work. I'm doing the best job I can. I work at it 7 days a week. I literally don't take days off, gathering and putting together these things and trying to bring it to you as quick as I can. The links are below the video if you'd like to be a sponsor. And if you make a donation, no matter what size it is, once a month, then I will then call you a producer, because you will literally be helping me produce this content. With that being said, I love you and I thank you very much. And keep your eyes open. And I'll be back with y'all guys real soon. Bye-bye for now.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.